But like the things that have happened in my life to me, the things that I'm just not a PG guy. Right. Like I've just lived an R-rated life. It's brother to brother, two brothers hanging and talking about stuff.
Yeah, well, we did a show. We did a show
fun.
in Madera, California.
I guess they were happy.
I mean,
outdoor shows are weird, man. There's a lot of people there. There's like 350 people.
Yeah, I love going up during daytime.
But it feels like, when it's nothing is better than comedy when the sun is out, right. Outdoors.
See the disappointment in 300 people's faces.
Comedy when the sun is out inside where they can't see the sun sucks. So comedy outside when the sun is up is the worst. But it's like there's like 350 people there, but really you only perform for 20 people in the front.
You have to. Also remember how far they were away. That's the other thing.
Well, it really went.
Got to have people close.
It went deep back.
Yeah, well, a lot of those people, if they had moved up, if we had like maybe 4 or 5 more rows of chairs in front where they were full.
Yeah, well, it was.
You get a good energy.
I will say though, like it was a good energy. And it was really fun.
How did you feel when they told us, at least initially, that it was supposed to be PG-13?
Oh, I was terrified.
Yeah.
It's the thing is like that's just not what I do.
No, I'm the safest bet. PG-13. It's going to be.
Yeah, like I listen to like Nate Land and all those guys, and like I want to work. I want to be clean. But like the things that have happened in my life to me, the things that I'm just not a PG guy. Like I've just lived an R-rated life.
Yeah, I watched a little John Mulaney last night, and just like his old comeback kid.
Right.
I showed a friend. He came over. We were doing some writing. He was from Little Rock.
Oh, right on.
So he hadn't seen the Bill Clinton, John Mulaney joke. It's it's hilarious. John Mulaney. He seems like a clean comic.
But he's not.
No, he talks about drug use and alcoholism. Even in his old specials, he says cuss words, but a lot of times his cussing is another character in his story.
You say cussing and not curse.
I say cuss.
Cuss.
Yeah.
That's fascinating to me.
It's East. I mean, I didn't know anybody that said cursing growing up.
I think I say curse words.
You say curse words?
Yeah, I think I would say
probably
curse
say
words.
curse words and cussing.
Right, so they're interchangeable for you.
Yeah. Well, I don't say cuss words.
No, you definitely got to say curse words.
Curse words.
If you say cuss words, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
is it regional like Coke and soda?
Like cocaine and soda? It's great. Cocaine and soda.
Some places they say soda. Some places say soda pop. And other places say cocaine.
Yeah, no, I would rather do cocaine and have a soda.
Right. You get like a diet soda.
Can you do diet cocaine? I would do that.
It's just lower cal. I think that it's probably
low cal.
Is cocaine carbs?
Well, it's not carbs.
Diet cocaine.
Oh, working clean. It's one of those things that, like, I admire that. I think it's way harder.
Oh, for sure.
But like, I don't actually curse that much in my sets.
No, it's very adult themed though.
But I argue that I do believe that clean isn't about subject matter. It's about you're adding on top of it a thing that's dirtier than it needs to be.
So you think if it's real life, if it's real life,
I think it's completely fair game.
But if you're cursing in it,
if I say like, I went to the store versus I went to the fucking store, right. I think that one is dirty and the other one's clean because everybody's telling provocative stories.
Otherwise, it's not interesting.
Otherwise, it's boring. And like, I don't add an element if it doesn't need to be there.
Right.
So like, it's just that's the story. The thing actually happened. I said this horrible thing. This person said a horrible thing to me. Like that's the story.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not gonna edit that out of my life. And like for me, when you're on stage and when you're doing stuff, it's like that's the whole point is to like kind of really expose yourself for like your flaws and the things that that are wrong. I feel like if you're guarded and you're afraid of people actually knowing the dirty parts about you,
Right.
I think that's a problem.
Do you think Pete Holmes, who is real big on like, I just want to hear the secrets, him and Mike Birbiglia.
Yes.
I just want to hear the secrets. Do you think Pete Holmes is considered a clean comic? Because if you watch his stuff, he is not. He just doesn't cuss.
I will say this. I don't think he's considered
I don't think he's
blue or dirty.
He's not a dirty comic.
No, because he's just talking about stuff. I think there's like there's people that are saying things that are, I don't want to say lowbrow, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
That are their intention is to use the dirty part of it as the joke, when there's other people that are using the story is the story.
Yeah.
Like, you can't change the story.
Right.
I mean, you can, but what I mean is, like, certain things happen in your life that are so absurd, and if you just tell them the way they unfolded,
right.
how is that dirty?
If you're like, well, this is what happened when I was having sex. You
Yes.
can't turn it into, we were playing miniature golf.
No, you can't. You can't lighten it, but it's like, why doesn't that story deserve to be told?
Yeah, no. I
So
think
if you're a clean comic, I think it's a little bit like, and I think the narrowing factor being a clean comic is really great, because like I think putting yourself in a box forces you to like work in harder in different ways. And
I agree.
But sometimes the story is the story, man. Like, I don't write a joke or I don't tell a story or an anecdote or whatever with the idea of like, oh, I'm going to shock these people with this.
You don't write your material, and I've heard you run jokes and practice, and we riff a lot of material. I've never heard you go, and this is where I'm going to say shit.
No,
It's never that.
Well, but also it's also like this. I never think like, and this is when I'm going to shock them.
You ever find that word is rarely the funniest word?
Shit.
Yeah. It can be. If it's the right word, it's the right word.
My whole thing is this: if somebody walked by me and randomly, and I did nothing, and I'm just on the out front of a store, and they just looked at me and they're like, "What are you looking at, you piece of shit?"
Right.
When I retell the story, I want to say that they walked by me and said, "What are you looking at, you piece of shit?" I actually don't want to rewrite that, even to make it funnier. I don't want to change it.
Is it because your response gets to be the part that's the funny part?
Well, it's not even the funny part. It's the fact that it's real.
Right.
Like, I like to talk. Almost 100% of the stories I tell are 100% the way they unfolded.
You seem like you are more likely between the two of us to have somebody walk up to you and say you look like a piece of shit.
Oh, it's happened a ton of times in my life.
I had a guy
Variants, but yes.
the gas station. He wanted to fix a dent in my car, and I was like, it had a little dent in the car. He goes, "That's what I do," and he was on a bike. And I was like, "Where's your car?" He said it got totaled. And I was like, "No, I'm all right, man." And then he said, "You look like a swimmer," and rode his bike away. I was like, "It's the best insult ever." I was like, "I'm fit,
really funny.
Like an Olympian."
You look like a swimmer.
I look like a swimmer.
Years ago, I went to this repair shop. I had a vacuum that needed to be worked on, and I go to the front door, and the front door was like, it said, "Out of order, go to the next door." And on the next door, it said, "We'll fix anything." And I was like, I mean, maybe the door first. Maybe the door.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah, like, it's like, my only thing is, if that didn't happen within the last 5 minutes, you've failed as a company.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll fix anything. You're like, well, you can't fix the fucking door.
How? Doors aren't that complicated either.
Door's pretty simple.
Yeah. I sold vacuums for a month.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Didn't you do Cutco?
No. I sold.
I thought you sold knives.
No.
You never sold knives?
Never sold knives.
For the last 20 years, I've been telling people my brother used to sell knives.
I mean,
you never sold knives?
just a lot of people in Brooklyn going,
You really never sold knives? I gave your card out to so many people.
I don't have a Cutco card.
Oh, I made cards for you.
That makes sense.
I made cards.
I get calls.
Wait, you
I
sold
still to this
vacuums?
day get calls.
What was
I was
what
like,
were
where are
the-
you at?
what-
Brooklyn? Oh, you're in Bed-Stuy? Yeah, no, I sold knives there.
Sell me a vacuum.
Well, we had
No, sell me a vacuum.
Do you need a vacuum?
Actually, yes, I do.
Oh. Are you willing to pay $2,500 for a
It
vacuum?
was a $2,500 vacuum.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh, I remember this now.
No, they're like super.
It was the one that you could also wash your. It was a wet vac.
No, it wasn't even a wet vac.
What
No, it was just a ripoff.
I feel like you said wet back.
Yeah, that's just the cold.
It was kind of wet backy. Wait, that wasn't? Didn't you sell a vacuum? That
I sold
could
vacuum.
also.
It just looked like it. It looked like it.
No, I thought it was that you could clean your carpets with it. Like you could.
Well,
no, not vacuum.
No, it didn't. There was no water. That was actually part of the thing. Was that putting water on your carpets is bad. Shampooing carpets is bad.
Mildew.
Because the dirt in the bottom of your carpets doesn't really ever get picked up by most vacuums.
It needs
so
to
when you
live
put
there.
water on it, you just have mud.
Mildew.
Yeah, it's bad.
Wait, what was the company?
It's called Filter Queen. Filter Queen.
Are they still around?
Still around? Yeah.
How did you get a job doing that? Were you just like, fuck, I need some money?
Yeah. I think I just had first kid, and I was working for the.
You sold vacuums after
For
you
a
had
month.
your first child?
Yeah, for 1 month, and then I got the job as a loan officer, Wells Fargo,
I remember
for 6
that.
months, and then I went into teaching.
But what was it about the vacuum job that you're like, I'm not going to cut it?
Well, because I had the door-to-door part is horrible.
Would go door to door.
It was door hangers. You do door hangers during the day in neighborhoods, and then they would call in, and it was like, "Hey, you win a prize!" Like, "Hey, here's a prize."
So they told, but what was the prize?
It varied. You could win like a cruise, and it was real, like cruise tickets kind of thing.
But how did they decide who won?
Everybody won something.
No. What I mean is, I'm the company. I'm giving
Just
away the
scratchers.
cruise. Oh, you had
scratch
like
off
lotto
whatever
tickets.
was on the hanger.
They had their own lotto ticket.
Yeah, so it was like a hanger. You hang it, and then you scratch off, and it told you what you win. And if you wanted
That's
to claim
pretty
it,
good.
so the only way to win it though was you had to schedule an appointment. So you had to sit through like a 3-hour session.
Like you're dumping chili on their carpet.
With like 23-year-old me going like,
wait, give me the. Okay, you come to me.
right?
I scratched off and I was like, I win a free movie pass.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to collect that. And I'm like, let's do an appointment. You come over.
I show up.
Okay.
It's like 6:00 at night.
I'm like, hi, I'm John.
Yeah, I show up right in dinner time.
You show up right when
It's like
the meatloaf is getting cool.
If you ate too late.
Okay, so what was the spiel? I mean, like, did you have the vacuum with you?
Yeah, I had a sample vacuum that they
And
could
then-
buy. I could leave it if they bought it.
They could buy. Would they get a discount?
Yeah. It was like $300 or $400 off.
Dude, I would buy that vacuum.
Yeah, I mean,
But
still
what would you
$2,000.
do to what was the like?
We added nothing. First thing we would do is I would tell them, I'm not going to touch your carpet. I'm not going to add anything to your carpet. I'm not going to make it dirtier.
Oh, you didn't spill red wine on it? Oh, that's a bummer, dude.
No.
You didn't cut a shoe in half?
Yeah, that was when I was selling Cutco knives.
See, I knew you sold Cutco,
Sell
you
Cutco.
liar, dude.
No, I sold Tupperware, and I sold.
You sold Tupperware?
and I sold.
Dude.
I sold.
You think you know a person.
non-stick pans,
You think you know a person.
Teflon.
Okay, so but
I was big in the
but
sales.
how did
I was
you-
big. I was like a low entry level.
But you didn't dump a bunch of like soil on their carpet and vacuum it up.
No.
How did you show that the vacuum was good?
Typically, what we would do is I would have you bring your vacuum out, and it would be like a lot of people have very expensive vacuums, like Kirby vacuums.
Like a Dyson?
Dyson wasn't around back then. Dyson.
This is pre-Dyson?
Yeah, the Dyson technology is
we're
based off
old.
this technology.
We're so
The
old.
Cyclone technology in Dyson.
He ripped it off.
Filter Clean had it first,
Filter clean.
or Queen.
Filter Queen.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
By the way,
22 years.
can I
24
just
years?
say Filter Clean? Better.
It is a
name.
better word. Yeah,
It's a better name.
yeah. The vacuum.
Okay, so what
the
did you-
vacuum was called the Majestic.
Well, was it?
Yeah, it was really good.
Would you, now that you're older, and I want to go back to your spiel.
No, I own a Dyson.
But would you go? But now that you're older, would you spend $1,000 on the vacuum?
No, I spent $350 on a Dyson because it picks up dog hair really well.
Oh yeah.
The Dyson technology
Also,
is
can I
great.
just tell you though, a $50 vacuum at Walmart also picks up dog.
Well,
hair.
I've done those. The first thing that happens when you sell vacuums is you learn how to take apart all the vacuums and clean. Like most people have a vacuum, and they're like, I got to go get a new one. And actually,
it's just clogged.
well, they just think they have. I emptied it out and it's clogged. And they think but they have 3 or 4 filters, and there are other filters that they don't ever clean or dirty.
Yeah, I actually went through this yesterday with our father's hearing aids.
Yeah, they're clogged.
Whenever the hearing aids with mom and dad, they both have hearing aids. Whenever they go, all of a sudden they wake up one day and they're like, these are broken. And I'm like, they're not broken.
They can't. You do nothing.
And they're like, no, they're faulty. They don't work at all. I'm like, no, you have earwax and they're clogged.
That's funny.
So we go down to the hearing aid place, and the guy like takes them, and he goes back in the room. 2 minutes later, comes out. He gives them to Dad. Dad's like, oh, they work. I'm like, yeah, because you're a human and you have earwax.
Yeah. Do you Q-tip earwax?
Okay, here's the deal. I know you're not.
I use the little scraper thing.
What's a scraper?
There's it's like a little metal piece with like a tiny hook on the end.
Wait, what?
And you go in and you just pull wax
whoa,
out.
hold on.
If you buy like a little case that has like fingernail clippers and like a little tiny file.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. That's that's like if you go to the ear doctor, they don't use a Q-tip.
It seems way dangerous.
You know, on Q-tips,
how deep do you go with a scraper?
You could just fill it just on inside the edge enough. You'll fill it.
But I like going deep with the tip.
Okay, so like on the Q-tip box, it says not to put it in your ear.
Yeah. Here's the deal. It's like, you know how peeing is like a fourth of an orgasm?
Is it really?
Don't you feel like it is?
No.
Like the release of peeing?
Fourth?
It feels good.
Maybe a third.
Okay, a third's more than a fourth, you idiot. It's a third of an orgasm.
A morning pee. I'll say a morning pee.
A morning pee.
Late in the afternoon, it's just
or like a good dump.
Late in the afternoon's a little bit of a disappointment.
Really good dump.
You're like, I gotta pee.
But really a pee. I think putting a Q-tip in your ear is like a fifth.
But but it's also just not very effective.
I don't care if it's effective. It just feels good. I'm addicted to the feeling of it. Like, honestly, nothing ever comes out. I'm just impacting it more, and I'm never going to stop doing it.
It's like going.
You know, have a scraper.
I've given up. Yeah, because I actually want to get the earwax out.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in being a better.
Do you trim ear hair?
I don't really have much now.
See, mine grows in. If I go get a haircut, then I'm at that point where the stylist person will just have like the clippers trimming up, and then they just go. They just like do the eyebrows, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Oh."
Yeah, I don't have.
And then they'll just buzz the edge of my ear.
I don't need any eyebrow care, no ear care. A little nose. I have a thing I do my nose hair sometimes.
You could stick that in your ear too. That one feels good. Cut the ear hair if you do have some.
Can you do that?
Yeah, that's the same thing as the nose thing as the ear thing.
Yeah, that seems scary.
You stick a Q-tip in your ear.
Yeah, but I'm in control of it.
Well, I mean, you're in control of the thing you're sticking in your nose.
No,
it's not like it doesn't just come out of
It's me plus a machine plus my ear. The other thing is me plus an object plus my ear.
Right. So
I feel like I'm a
same
little
amount.
more. No, but I feel like I'm.
It's not mechanical.
It's not It can't have a mind of its own.
Right, but you'll do it in your nose.
But it's just a little bit, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's all you're doing with your ear.
But I haven't, as hairy as I am, and we've talked about this before, how we're differently hairy.
Yeah, I got the lower back hair.
I have no lower back.
Yeah,
I'm all upper neck.
Right. Yeah, you're like a real hairy upper neck.
But I got no shoulder.
No shoulder. I don't either.
I got no shoulder.
I get the one like random hair.
I got a little bit, but nothing gross.
Yeah.
But I got no lower back. Butthole pristine.
You wouldn't think that based on how much upper thigh hair you got.
Dude, but have you seen our brother?
No.
I have the least amount of hair.
Oh, is he really hairy?
Of all of us. Take your pants down.
Yeah.
Take your fucking pants down.
I have the line in the back of my leg where the sock, it
wears your hair
off. It's bald
off.
now.
Yeah.
I've reached that age where I just have the random line of baldness.
No, but I think I'm the least hairy legs of the Wells boys.
Yeah, I'm not very hairy on my legs. Brian's really hairy. Well, he's blonde.
Well, but that should disguise it.
Yeah.
He's like an animal.
That much hair.
Like a gorilla,
yes.
dude.
It's like a Twilight vampire.
His arm hair makes me gag, dude. Look at these thighs, by the way.
I know, man. You've been tanning. Those are tan for you.
I think I'm actually pretty tan.
Yeah.
For me.
For you.
Yeah, no, I'm like George Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not an orange shirt. That's a Nike logo on your chest.
That's a tattoo.
Right.
And the rest of my skin is just
I like that your
peach.
tattoo is also wrinkled.
Is it wrinkled?
No, just
It's probably wrinkled.
I think that would be a funny tattoo. Just it looks wrinkled.
We're kind of coordinating though,
yeah.
color-wise.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder what John's gonna wear. It's probably gonna be peachy.
I did not realize I was
and
going to be giving
Japanese.
off this much thigh.
It's a lot of that.
Brothers,
Brothers,
hanging and talking about
yeah.